So are you like me? You're in your 30s, and for some reason when you were in your early 20s, you assumed that by the time you turned 25, you were going to be married with kids, you were going to own this home, you were going to have this big boat out in the backyard, and here you are, and none of that's happened yet. Realize that you are not alone, and I 100% feel whatever you're going through. So I just thought this would be a good video to just sit down, chit chat, and let's talk about life in our 30s. So the first thing that I want to talk about, being as though we are in these beautiful years, I want to talk about finances. What does that look like in your 30s? And I think we can all assume that by the time we hit a certain age, we'll be at a certain point in our careers. And I think that for a lot of us, we are. I think by this time, I would like to think that we all have an emergency savings account. In case we fall on hard times, you have some money put to the side so that you're able to cover the cost of important things that may come up. Because as you know, when you're an adult, something always comes up and it just never ends. It's always something. A savings account, I think that's really important in your 30s. But at the same time, y'all, in this economy, it's sort of like battling between saving for the future and then also like not missing out on enjoying your life and experiences today, right? Sometimes where I'm like, I want to save here, but I also want to enjoy this experience. So finding that balance can be a little bit challenging, I think, but overall, I do think it's important to have yourself a savings account that you don't touch under any circumstances. I don't care how bad you want to touch it, how bad you want that outfit, how bad you want that vacation, how bad you want that new pair of sunglasses. The emergency savings fund is strictly for emergencies, and you never want to touch that. I think in our 30s, that's important to make sure that we are managing our money really well. We're not just blowing money on unnecessary things while also still enjoying our lives, but being responsible enough to not just work to buy things, but to work to see your account get to a certain level to where you just don't feel like all those years of working was completely in vain. Like you have something bigger to show for it. You've had back pain, neck pain, leg pain, some sort of pain. So this just brings me to health and wellness. When you're in your 30s, it's even more important because your body is starting to go through all of these different changes. And also this is the time to like prevent a lot of things from happening like your 40s, 50s and on up, right? So this is the time where you want to make sure you are exercising. What does this look like? Some people just aren't gym people, and that's fine. There's more than just one way to exercise. You can take a yoga class, you can do yoga at your home, you can go outside and play jump rope with the kids, you can go for a walk in your neighborhood. If you live in an apartment like I do, most of these apartments have free gyms where you can go do 30-45 minutes on a treadmill. That's what I like to do because it's really easy. You can do that. You can go hiking with your friends. I enjoy that. Like, put me outside in some nature. I want to be able to look at the squirrels. I want to be able to look at the birds, look at the trees. I want some fresh air. I want the sun beaming on me just a little bit. So find whatever works for you, but you definitely want to make sure you get those joints moving and that you're being active, because that's going to be important in your 30s, but also as you get older. So make sure you're keeping that heart rate going, making sure you're getting those steps in. I know a lot of us these days work from home. So if you're working from home, you definitely want to make sure you're incorporating in that physical activity somewhere throughout your daily routine, daily, weekly routine, whatever gives you the opportunity to get up and get moving. I know for me personally, I am working in office, so I am ripping and running all throughout the day, but I still think that, the walks that I'm able to get in throughout the neighborhood or like hit up the gym to go like just walk on the treadmill for a little bit is still really good for like my heart health. So find what works for you, but just definitely make sure you're out there and you're being active. Apart from exercising, we want to make sure we are keeping up with our doctor's appointments. Men and women, all of us. teeth cleaned at least twice a year. Make sure you are getting your physical at least once a year. If you work a full-time job, then these are all preventative care things. So usually it's 100% covered by your health insurance. So you don't want to let that pass you by. If it's free and you can get it taken care of and the doctors are making sure that you are healthy and you are good, or if there's something wrong with you, you want to be able to catch it quick so that they can correct it. So yeah, you don't want to let that go to waste. Make sure you are going to see your dentist and your primary care doctor definitely every year. Don't forget that. We want to make sure we do that. And that's also part of like being in your 20s. But once you're in your 30s, you come to realize that like what your body could do when you were in your 20s, it's not doing it anymore. What you could eat in your 20s, a lot of the times you cannot eat in your 30s. You may not have had allergies in your 20s, but in your 30s, you do. So we just want to make sure we're caught up and up to date on everything that's going on with us, that we are getting our fluids in. We're making sure we're drinking our water. We are eating healthier, and I get sometimes it's easier said than done. And that's also something that I'm trying to work on and incorporate in my life. But I know the importance of it, and that means, making sure that, you're getting your vitamins in per day, and then also you are drinking plenty of water. We love chips, candy, sweets, all that sugar. But for me, what I had to do was kind of like substitute the bad things for things that are still enjoyable for me, but they aren't as unhealthy. So like replace gradually, like sometimes like you don't have to force all of this on yourself at once, but like if you could like substitute the poor quality foods for better quality foods over time, I think you'll start to see a big difference in your overall health. So that's just a tip. That's something that I've been trying to work on, and I get that it's easier said than done. Another thing, give yourself grace in your 30s. Listen, we are tired, we are stressed, we are trying. Pace yourself, give yourself, time, but also just love yourself enough to know that it's a commitment that you have to make. And even when you don't feel like it, still do it, because I did not feel like recording this video. Doing it, you come to find that it's not as tedious or hard as you assume that it would be. And then I know by the end of it, once it's posted, I'm going to be very proud of myself for making that decision. So that also goes into like your diet and, what it is that you're eating per day. And my earring came off. So yeah, so appearance. I am a firm believer that when you look good, you definitely feel good. You ever just walk around the house, you have on this loose family reunion t-shirt, and your hair is a mess, your face is crusty, and you aren't oiled up, glossed up, and for some reason you just don't feel like doing anything, because you can feel it when you don't feel like you're your best self appearance wise. I think that transfers into you not having the energy to do simple things. Get yourself a skincare routine. Make sure you do that morning and night, and you'll see a significant difference. And if you're a girl, part of like making sure your appearance is good is like, I try my hardest to just keep my hair done. And I'm not talking about going to the shops consistently, because that gets really expensive. I'm pretty much talking about being able to like find styles that are easy, sleek, pretty, that I'm able to do on my own. And it is draining. It's very tiring. I'm also honestly just considering getting sew-ins for fall all throughout winter. I think that's going to be my next steps, just so that I don't have to like deal with like my real hair for a minute, because it is time consuming. If you're a natural girl, then you understand that doing your hair is a whole process. It's a whole day activity. Look at your hair and learn how to do your own hairstyles, because that way you're not as reliant on another person to make sure that you look like your best self. Do my own lash extensions. They don't last a long time, but I'm fine with that, because I'm not usually like a lash kind of girl all the time. I like to just put lashes on when I'm going somewhere. Apart from that, like at work, I'm not wearing lashes. I'm gonna put on some mascara, a little bit of concealer, some blush, and a lip gloss. I'm like, I'm good to go. And even if I don't do the makeup, then I'll just rock my skincare routine with some lip gloss and I'm good to go. Signature pieces of jewelry to wear every day. I feel like that elevates a look instantly, and it doesn't have to be anything super dramatic or expensive. I know for me, I got these pack of earrings off of Amazon, and they're just really dainty, really simple. And then I also got this necklace off of Amazon. It came with like a charm, but I like necklaces that are like super simple and simplistic, so that's why I took that off. So yeah, just find yourself some signature everyday pieces of jewelry. This is also where you can invest in some real accessories. For me, it's gonna take a little minute because I want to make sure what I find is something that is timeless and that I won't get tired of. But yeah, I think that would be a good investment to treat yourself to in your 30s. Makes it look as if you tried, because again, like y'all, when you look good, you really do feel good and you get really motivated. So yeah, that's another part of like being in your 30s that I think is going to be really important, is to invest in you. And I know when we hear the word invest, we automatically think of a bunch of money. No, I am one to tell you that I can make myself look really good on a budget, and I don't think you would ever be able to tell the difference. So again, that takes us back to being financially responsible. Don't break the bank for a bag, a pair of shoes, a pair of sunglasses. Be responsible with your money. Make sure you're saving your money, you're investing your money, and your money is growing and it's working for you, not against you. So yeah, so that would be the other part, is just making sure that your outer appearance is just as healthy as your inner health. Alrighty, so let's talk about work-life balance. In our 30s, I am assuming that we are all working a 9-to-5 job, or we are all full-time entrepreneurs, or we are working 2 jobs just to be able to make ends meet. That's all fine and dandy, but what I never support is dedicating all of your time to work but never making time to enjoy your life outside of work. So when your friends are telling you let's go out, I know you may be tired from work, please get up and go enjoy them, because we commit 40 hours, for some of us over 40 hours a week, into someone else's dream. And there's nothing that makes me more like sick to my stomach than envisioning my life being a life in which I am clocking in all these hours for a job just to pay my bills, or to, you know, do certain things for myself, but not, how do I say it? While not enjoying my life as an individual. No, well, what do you do? Like, who are you? Trying to get to know you. We automatically go to what do we do for work? And I just feel like that's a small portion of who we are as people, right? When people look at me, I don't want them to just see what I do for work. I want them to see, oh, she's like bubbly, has a fun personality, she's really friendly, she's a social butterfly, she's silly and looks for every moment to make a person laugh, and she's lovable and appreciates the small things, and she appreciates the little bird that's hanging out on the tree, and she appreciates the trees, and you know, she loves to just look at the sky because, you know, the Lord made the sky, and that just brings joy to her soul. So when people look at Crystal, like, that's who I want them to see. This is when it comes to prioritizing who you are outside of the workplace. That's just what you're gonna have to do, period. And transitioning into having that work-life balance, let's talk about relationships. To start, in our 30s, if you are single like I am, I think it's important to find joy in being single, because obviously once you are married and you have kids, what you're able to do now is just, it's a done deal. You'll never be coming home to a quiet house. You'll never be coming back to a home the same way that you left it. You won't have that solitude and that quiet time, after a long days of work. It's just not what your life is going to be anymore. So love these years. When you're single, embrace them. Have fun, hang out with your friends, do things that you find enjoyable. And yeah, embrace these years, because once you no longer have it, you can't go backwards. Once your kids come, once you're married, that's just it. So yeah, these are beautiful years to enjoy, because we won't always have them, especially if you are someone like me who wants marriage and children one day. That just makes me enjoy, the silence of my home even more, because I'm just like, it won't always be like this. I'm gonna have kids running around, I'm gonna have a husband trying to get out the house for work, I'm gonna have, kids who need to get packed up for school, I'm gonna be preparing my bag to get myself to work. And it's all easy now because I'm only responsible for myself. So once all of those things are added to my schedule, do you hear it? Exactly. You don't hear anything but me talking. This silence right here, I'll never take this for granted. And this is a beautiful moment that I'm going to enjoy for however long the Lord has it for me to enjoy. So yeah, enjoy your single years. Friendships, pour into your friends, show up for your friends, support your friends, be there for your friends. Hang out with your friends, talk to your friends, because marriage comes. I think it's going to be very important to have built those relationships, because again, I always like to say, like, my friends are literally like my family. Like, they're in my life forever. I'm never letting them go. The friendships that I've built since living in Charlotte, these girls, we're going to grow old together, literally. And I just want to make sure that, I nourish those friendships, and I show them that I value them and that I love them and that I care for them. And I want you to do the same for your friends. Show up for them, love them, support them, be there for them, be honest with them, be respectful to them. And yeah, because as you get older, you come to realize that nothing matters more than the relationships you've built over your life. I'm sorry, I don't care what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you live in, what kind of job you have, the people, and I can say this time and time again, the people are what is most valuable. The people will bring you joy, they'll bring you happiness, they'll bring you love, they'll bring you support, laughter, all of that. You can't get that from a job, you can't get that from a car, and you can't get that from a house. So let's make sure that in your 30s you are building relationships and you are getting that community together, because these are going to be your lifelong friends that are going to be there to support you, and you're going to be there to support them throughout various parts of your life. To like personally grow yourself, be willing to like learn more, pique your curiosity, and if it's something that you never experienced, then be curious enough to go out there and learn about it. So that's a major part of personal growth. And I also think just analyzing yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror and figuring out who you are right now and who you desire to be in your 40s, because obviously when you're in your 30s it's going to be a completely different person from when you're in your 40s.